Alright, what's going on? After a week of consuming a whole lot of content on logical fallacies, I thought it would be a nice time to take advantage of the nice weather, go on a little drive, and have a little discussion about it. So I got the truck keys. And you know what that means. So as I said in the intro, all week long I've been doing a lot of studying and a lot of research on logical fallacies and things of that nature, and basically how to form and stitch together a good argument that doesn't have any holes in it. And I found all of this type of stuff very, very interesting. So after my research was done, I began to look up, to do more research, and to look up some real life examples on this issue so that I could kind of bring them to the truck so that we could have this discussion. And one of the best ones that I found was an interview from a couple months ago. AOC was being interviewed by Fox, and they were asking her, so okay, the economy is doing really well, we're having historical low unemployment rates, so what do you have to, how does that make you feel? What do you have to say about that? And she goes, well, actually those unemployment numbers are actually part of the problem, because what they don't tell you is that there's a lot of people out there who are having to work more than one job just to be able to make ends meet and to be able to put food on their tables. Now, when she first said that, I really didn't even take my advice from last week's video, and I didn't take the time to go look that up, and I should have. But I did now. And the fact is that out of the working population in the US, there are approximately 6.4 million Americans who are currently having to work more than one job. And the rest of the working force is not. They're only having to work one. And most people know that 6.4 million, roughly, is not that big of a chunk out of the US population. So one of the biggest overarching logical fallacy that I have been reading up on is the appeal to emotion. And this can mean basically any emotion. It can mean an appeal to anger, it can mean an appeal to pity. I mean, the list goes on. And in this case of AOC, it's an appeal to ignorance. Because, I mean, think about it. Nobody knows that type of stat just off the top of their head. And, I mean, there's a lot of journalists who wouldn't even know that right off the top of their head, because they would have to go do the research and look it up. And that type of obscure, how many people are working one job, how many people are working two, is just not something that most people are going to concern themselves with. They're either going to basically look at the person who's saying it and go, do I trust them or not? And if you do, then you're going to believe them, and if you don't, then you're not. So it's one of those things that we do as humans, we do this too often, where we are trying to piece together an argument and we allow our emotions to kind of cloud our judgment and cloud our thinking, and then because of that we draw conclusions that are not all that logical. And if we can it takes a lot of practice. I've been kind of checking myself doing this over this last week, and I've caught myself a number of times, and it's very difficult, especially right at the beginning. But I believe that with practice, anybody can get a whole lot better at this, where they will be being able to kind of look past their emotions and whatever it is that they're thinking or feeling about the situation, and to simply kind of put their best logical foot forward. And that should be something that we strive to do, because then it will resolve it'll resolve some conflicts, and it will just flat out prevent others, because we will be able to kind of remove our emotions and remove our own self-interest and be able to look at the whole kind of grand picture of things. And that can mean really nothing but improvement for all of us. Now, if you are interested in these different types of logical fallacies, I've got a video that I really liked, and I've got a couple of articles that I found as well. And I will link all of that below so you can go check that out and get started on some of that. I know in the intro I said I was going to go enjoy the nice weather. Well, I got busy, had to shoot this over a couple of days, so pardon the rain. The Washington weather decided to come back and make its return, which I was kind of expecting to happen. I'm kind of used to it at this point. So that'll do it for this week's video on logical fallacies. I am looking forward to diving into this next week of content for Praxis, And like I said before, I will link a whole bunch of my research that I did for logical fallacies down below. If that interests you at all, go check it out. And I've got a whole nother week of content coming up, and super excited about that. I will be back with another video breaking down all of that for you guys next week. So thanks so much for sticking with me through all this, and I'll see you next time.